Hey everyone, this is Tutor Brian, back with another math video. This one's about geometry, and I'm just going to run through this the way I would do it. And let's go. Starting with number 1, in ABCD, AB is parallel to DC. So that means this line and this line are parallel, and AD is parallel to BC. What is the value of x? So you have two parallel lines that create a quadrilateral, so it's a good assumption to go with this being a parallelogram. And if I remember my geometry correctly, opposite sides in a parallelogram are congruent, so these two measures will be equal. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. I'm going to start with 5x minus 3 equals 2x minus 9. Now I just solve for x. This is a little algebra, so add 3 on both sides. So 5x equals 2x minus 6. Then subtract 2x on both sides. And I get 5x minus 2x is going to be 3x. And this will cancel. Just like over here, this negative 3 and positive 3 cancel. So that means on the right side I'm left with negative 6. I divide by 3. Oh, my mistake. This is positive 9. Okay, so it's not negative 6, it's positive 12. Positive 12. Okay, so I'm dividing by 3 here on both sides. X equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that's your answer. Okay, so as I demonstrated, just watch the signs and just pay attention to the details, because that can make the difference between a negative answer and this correct answer 4. And just to check it, I'm going to do 2 times 4 plus 9, because x is 4. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 9 is 17. Here I'm going to do 5 times 4 minus 3. 5 times 4 is 20, minus 3 is 17. They're both equal. Question 2. Two angles ABC and ABD form a linear pair. If ABC is equal to 121 degrees, what is measure of angle ABD? So a linear pair just means two angles, they make basically a line. And that means somewhere in here there's going to be two angles. 1, 2. Now just labeling them, they obviously share A and B, the points. So I'll do A here at the top, then to B here. And I can see that ABC is the bigger angle, 121. So I'm going to make this one 121 degrees and put C there. And then ABD is the other angle. So A, B, and D will be over here. And so I just wanted to find out what is that measure. What is the measure of ABD? Well, linear pair, that means two angles add up. They're going to be supplementary, so they should add up to 180. So whatever this is will add up with 121 to make 180. So to find the missing angle, I do 180 minus 121. So that will give me 59 degrees. B. Number 1. In which of the following must be true? In this type of problem, you may have to know your rules for quadrilaterals and what the rules are for each specific one. This kind of looks like a kite, but I can't really, make an assumption until I know for sure the rules. But right now, I'm kind of blanking on my knowledge of geometry on this. So what I'm going to do is use my best judgment in this case. So here, I read the first statement. Measure of angle 1 minus measure of angle 2 is equal to 0. That means these two measures are equal. Okay, I'll think about that. And I can't go by just how it looks either. I have to read through and be sure. Angle 2 and angle 4 are complementary. So 2 and 4 will add up to 90 degrees. Well, they look like they're 90 degrees. But again, I can't go by how it looks. 3 and 4 are supplementary. 3 and 4 are supplementary. Well, they do look like they will add up to 180 degrees, especially if they're both 90 degrees. And lastly, angle 3 is equal to angle 4. These two are equal. Well, they do look alike. And so looking at it right now, A and D are kind of the same thing. They're both saying two angles are equal. 1 and 2 are equal. 3 and 4 are equal. Well, I don't know which one is better than the other. They both sound equally good to me. So maybe that means I should just go and eliminate them because they both sound like they could be the answer, but maybe that's just not something that must be true. So let's look at 2 and 4. 2 and 4 are complementary. I have no, any sort of background knowledge that somehow 2 and 4 will add up to 90 degrees. But I look at C, 3 and 4 are supplementary. Well, okay, they are both on the same line. And it's a safe bet to say that this is a straight line. So if two angles are on a straight line, like so, they're going to be a linear pair, and they're going to be supplementary. So my best bet is to go with C. There's more pointing towards that, more evidence pointing towards that than the rest. Question 2. Which equation represents the line that has a slope of 5 and passes through -3, -2? You remember from algebra, y equals mx plus b. That's your slope-intercept equation, where m is the slope. Well, the slope is 5, so I have to find the equation that looks like this form. It has 5 in front, so whatever the rest is, it doesn't matter as long as 5 is in front of x, and that's either a or b, not c or d. To find the correct answer, I have to know which one goes through -3, -2. In an order pair, the first is x, the second is y. So I plug in -3 for x, -2 for y. Let's try the first one. I'm going to do it over here. A, 5x plus 13 equals y. So y was -2, x is -3. 5 times -3 plus 13 equals -2. 5 times -3 is -15. -15 plus 13 is -2. So that's the right answer, A. To be sure, I'll check. So I do 5x minus 13 this time. 5x minus 13 equals y. 5 times x is -3, is up here, and minus 13 equals y is -2. Put it where y is. 5 times -13 is -15. -15 minus 13 is -28. That's not equal to -2, so it can't be B. Then A is the correct answer. Next question. Line segment QR is congruent to line segment ST. That means these two here are congruent. That means their measures are going to be equal. What is the length of QS? QS is here. So, looks like I'm going to have to find out what A is to find out the length of QS. So what I'm going to do first is set line segment QR, the measure of it, equal to the measure of line segment ST. So 5A minus 6 equals A plus 2. Solve for A now. Subtract A on both sides. 4A minus 6 equals 2. Add 6 on both sides. 4A equals 2 plus 6 is 8. So divide both sides by 4. A equals 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that's part of the answer. I need to find out what each of these parts are. So 5 times 2 minus 6. 5 times 2 is 10, minus 6 is 4. Here, 4 times 2 minus 1. 4 times 2 is 8, minus 1 is 7. Well, I just need to know what this is, QS. So I add 4 plus 7, and I get 11. That's my answer. Next question. The midpoint of segment XY is 2, -7. One endpoint is -6, -11. What are the coordinates of x? So let's draw a segment XY right here, and I have one of the points, y, which is -6, -11. The other point, x, I do not know, so I put x there. And in the middle is m, which is 2, -7. Okay, now if I recall correctly, the midpoint formula is something like x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. I need one x and one y. Because I have one and I need to find the other one. I have one of the x's and y's here, but I need to find the other one. And I know the midpoint already is 2, -7. So let's use, for x2, let's use this number right here, -6. x1 plus -6 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So multiply 2 on both sides, I get x1 plus -6 equals 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. Now the way I do that is just because I multiply this side by 2, so I can cancel this down the bottom, and I multiply this by 2 and I get 4. So x1 plus -6 is 4. I add 6 on both sides and I get x1 is equal to 10. Do the same thing for the y's. I know one of the y's is -11, so I'm going to do y1 plus -11 divided by 2 equals this -7. And I get that from here, because I already know the y for the midpoint is -7. Multiply both sides by 2. I get y1 plus -11 equals -14. Add 11 on both sides. I get y1 equals, these will cancel, -14 plus 11 is -3. So x1 was 10, y1 is -3. That's this answer here, B.